Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture.
And I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And coming up today, I'm going to tell you all about WWE wrestlers potentially reaching out to Impact Wrestling as a future place of employment. And on top of that, a new NXT champion was finally crowned at Super Tuesday last night.
Plus, Tessa Blanchard is returning to wrestling, and which NXT superstar could be on their way to the main roster? This is the news.
And I think it kind of goes without saying, but we're going to give you the spoiler warning anyway. There are heavy spoilers on this video for last night's episode of NXT. We will cover those in stories 3 and 4. You've got your little timestamps down the bottom. Do what you need to do. There'll probably be images on your screen as well. Stuff. Just letting you know. Anyway, we are going to kick things off by talking about this Impact Wrestling story. So this emanates from an interview that Heath, not Heath Slater anymore, just Heath, has given to TV Insider, claiming that several wrestlers within WWE have reached out to him about the possibility of working for Impact whenever they're out of their contracts. He does acknowledge, however, that certain people are locked down. They're under contract. You can't just get out of those damn things. He actually refers to it as signing up for the military, which is, okay. He then went on. I've got a direct quote from Heath here. He says that guys that did get released and guys from other companies have been texting and calling me asking about Impact. Some of the WWE crew have been like, hey, yeah, that would be awesome to do this, but I've still got another year and a half. And he says in response, remember what you're saying because years go by pretty fast. So if you really want to come here, I might know a guy. And he concludes the interest is there for sure. So it's kind of interesting to hear about the possibility of WWE wrestlers looking at Impact and going, maybe I'll have more fun there. We've seen lots of them cross over recently. Heath is one of them. Eric Young, of course, is an Impact original, but he returned after being released from WWE. Deonna Purrazzo, the Knockouts champion. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, probably some others that my big stupid brain is just forgetting. EC3, there you go. One of the biggest names of them all. Forgot about it. Hey! So yeah, it's an increasingly attractive proposition. It seems to be for people who are leaving WWE. It's just a case of getting out of those goddamn contracts is the main thing.
Yeah, that's never going to happen, is it?
No.
But it's very interesting, this, because the amount of times we report on, obviously, WWE wrestlers looking to potentially jump to AEW. But at the end of the day, AEW aren't old school TNA just picking up WWE scraps left, right and centre. They've got their own superstars or stars or wrestlers or, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I think Impact Wrestling is a viable alternative. Yes, they are not the contender to WWE that they arguably once were, but they are a really enjoyable product. I think you've seen, obviously, the people who left WWE back in April. They've gone there and really thrived. And the cynic in me hears this and thinks, are people just trying to sort of leverage Impact Wrestling to sort of try and get better renews of WWE contracts? Because at the end of the day, it's all a bit up in the air with contract situations in WWE with what we saw going on, as I said, back in April. But I don't know, I think some people may well be better off there because it's really a slog watching the main roster at the moment.
Yeah, it's a case of monetization versus creative fulfillment, I think, a lot of the times. And, if you go to a promotion like Impact, which does something like 170,000, 150,000 average viewers a week, you're not going to get the same level of platform, but you might be used better. And sometimes that's what you want.
And, not to dismiss Impact Wrestling, as I said, I think they're doing some great stuff at the moment. Could well be a case of taking a step back before you can take steps forward. We've seen other wrestlers, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, go there, thrive, and then come back and do really well with WWE. So it may be that case, or maybe they want to go to Impact and then try out AEW. Who knows? But it's going to be very interesting. We'll keep you posted on any developments with this story. From that to someone who used to be in Impact Wrestling, Tessa Blanchard. She is set to return to pro wrestling after ages away. She last had a match in March, I believe, of this year, and she's going to return as part of Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series in Chicago Heights, Illinois on the 12th, 19th and 26th of December. Promotion confirming it on social media last night with a tweet that read, "For 2 years, the entire Warrior Women's Division has been building to this match. Two of the best wrestlers on earth, the title on the line, not their first clash, but maybe their last. Can a smile cut a diamond? The main event, who you got. So it obviously doesn't name Tessa Blanchard by name, but the diamond sort of alludes to that. She's going to face Kylie Rae, it seems. As I said, 12th, 19th, 26th September, that Warrior Wrestling Stadium Series going down. Not the promotion I thought I'd see Tessa Blanchard cropping up in. Obviously, a huge amount of speculation about her potentially going to AEW or WWE, but she's such a talented wrestler. It's just all the stuff outside of the ring that have caused so many issues for her.
Yeah, loaded issue. Lots of baggage there with regards to the racism scandal earlier in the year, and of course the way she left Impact. Lots of extra little bits and pieces there surrounding an undeniably talented performer. Warrior Wrestling doing interesting things, holding these football stadium shows with social distancing. Apparently a big influence for Tony Khan when it came to inviting fans back to AEW Dynamite and so forth. So it's kind of a low-key way for her to come back into the wrestling business. She's obviously worked for Warrior Wrestling before. Smart move on her behalf. Sure, she'll end up on a bigger stage, a televised stage, soon enough.
I'm sure they both will as well. I love Kylie Rae, and I know she's done stuff for the promotions, obviously, but I'd love to see her in WWE, and I don't know what happened with her in AEW, but she should be in one of those two promotions for me.
I believe she's signed to Impact now.
Yeah.
She's certainly wrestling for the Knockouts title. But good for her for landing on her feet.
I think she needs to be in one of the top two for me. Just no offence to Impact, as I said, but
she's really good, to be fair.
She's so talented.
Really, really good indeed. Shame we don't see her in AEW anymore, but that's life. Let's move over to NXT. Spoiler from last night. There's your warning. Finn Balor, almost said Adam Cole. Finn Balor is the new NXT champion. He defeated Adam Cole in a 23-minute match to open last night's show. This, of course, stemmed from the Iron Man match, which was a draw last week. Two of these guys emerging on top from that. Ended up, Adam Cole kicked out of a coup de grace. If I do believe that's the first time that's happened in WWE.
They put it over on commentary, yeah.
There we go. It was protected somewhat because Finn jammed up his knee and couldn't cover as quickly as he normally would have. Keeps the move semi-protected. But in the end, it was top rope 1916 that put Adam Cole away for the 1-2-3. It's Balor's first NXT championship in 5 years. The guy who helped really put the brand on the map as a separate brand away from the main roster and so forth. And he's congratulated by Triple H, William Regal, all the usual guys in backstage area afterwards. There you go, Finn Balor, your new champion.
As I tweeted this morning, about damn time. Really enjoyable match. Felt like a bit of a make good for the bollocks that was the Iron Man match last week. Really enjoyed that. I thought the steel cage match with Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez, which I'll get onto in a second, was sensational as well. And two more championship matches announced for next week. It's going to be Breezango defending their tag titles against Imperium. Michael Hamflett will be very angry about that. And the NXT North American Championship is going to be defended. Damian Priest defending against Timothy Thatcher. What a great show.
Loaded.
Really good stuff, that. We also saw the return of Kushida to NXT last night, beating the crap out of Velveteen Dream. Let's talk a little bit about that Battle of the Badasses, though, as it was dubbed by NXT. Rhea Ripley emerging victorious from that steel cage match. And it looks like Mercedes Martinez, it's not all bad news. She could be heading, well, it might be actually, depending on how you think about this, she could be heading to the main roster very soon. This is according to WrestlingNews.co's Paul Davis, who suggested that she will be making that leap to either Raw or SmackDown very soon. The commentators sort of, alluded to it potentially a bit. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. And Robert Stone confirmed that she had parted ways from the excellent Robert Stone brand after the show.
That's
Don't
a
you
word.
say anything.
That's
Don't you
a
say
word.
anything. He tried to attack a tank with a baseball bat last night. It was really enjoyable. Mercedes has only been with the company since January, of course, but we all love her here at WhatCulture Wrestling. We all hope for the best for her. And, losing to Rhea Ripley, who's obviously clearly going to go towards potentially a championship match again with Io Shirai, which is what we'd all love to see, although Io Shirai is facing Shotzi Blackheart next week. Mercedes Martinez would be a sensation on the main roster for me, and I couldn't wait to see her in matches against like Asuka or Sasha, or, I mean, take your pick. She's so good.
Yeah, she should have been there from day one for me. One of the most experienced, tenured, skilled and respected women's wrestlers in the world, has been for several years now, and for the love of God, get her away from the worst stable in wrestling, please.
How dare you. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions. At WhatCulture WWE, of course, we want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from birthday boy himself, Matt Rains. Happy birthday to you, mate.
Matthew.
He says, good morning, gents. Simple question. What do you guys think is next for MJF? Cheers, guys. Have a wonderful day today. You have a wonderful birthday today, Matt.
Yeah, have a good day, Matt. Interesting one. The Wardlow feud might be a possibility. He's been slagging off the big beefy boy on social media over the past week or so. That's an option. However, I think they'll hold off on that. I wonder if maybe we'll get him versus they might reprise the Jungle Boy feud. They might go for someone like Darby Allin. I really don't have a strong read on this, to be honest.
No, it's tough to see what direction they go after the championship match.
Yeah, it's a really tough one to kind of figure out. Maybe they bring back the Cody feud. I'm going to go with Wardlow. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but, they've been needling it.
Yeah, I mean, of course he should be AEW World Champion. He was robbed on Saturday night, and I'm not biased or anything. But I genuinely have no idea. You'd think potentially Wardlow, but then I kind of want them to hold off on that just a little while longer. Either way, it's going to be great to see what he says when he gets his hands on a microphone tonight off the back of that dodgy result. Also tonight on Dynamite, don't we find out who's going to be the best man for Kip Sabian?
Can't wait for that.
Second question today comes, and let's not forget, of course, Dustin Rhodes challenging for the TNT Championship.
That'll be great.
We'll sort of gloss over that, yeah. Second question today comes from Everything Wrestling, who says, who in AEW do you feel has the best theme song besides Jericho? That's a given. For me, it's Sammy Guevara. I swear, every time I hear that song, it pops my nips, lol.
Oh, Jesus. Cool. My favourite theme song Wow, I'm lost. My favourite theme song in AEW is The Butcher and the Blades. I think, if you're a metal fan, you need to listen to this song all the way through. On TV, all you really hear is the opening series of riffs. But about a minute in, it goes bloody mental. There's 5 or 6 different passages. About 3 minutes in, a blast beat comes in with this really evil lead guitar over the top. If you listen to metal or metalcore or whatever, hardcore in any form, listen to this from start to finish. It's going to blow your nips solid, or whatever the question person said.
I really like Lance Archer's theme, despite the fact that him and I have so many issues. Thanks to everyone for stirring that up again on social media the other day. But I'm sorry. After Judas, you have to go for best friends. I love that. It gets me every time. But let us know in the comments who is your favourite theme song, other than Chris Jericho, on Dynamite, on AEW, of course, even. Final question today comes from Total Views, official TV, on Twitter, who says, I believe Mauro Ranallo should join commentary for AEW, replacing Jim Ross. Jim Ross can be saved for backup on AEW, and he can move to AEW Dark. He could be exclusive to pay-per-view events. What do you guys think of the idea?
I could speak for 10 minutes on this. I think there's a lot of problems with Jim Ross on commentary at the moment. This was highlighted at All Out when he made the awful comment towards Anna Jay having a wardrobe malfunction, and then offered a crap non-apology on social media. He was really off his game. He was getting names wrong. He was, not hyping things up in the way you'd perhaps hope from the lead play-by-play guy, or
just completely no-selling Kenny Omega not catching Hangman Page.
Yeah,
okay, guys.
Yeah, and the Falcon Arrow kick out.
My God.
In the women's title match. I make a mistake. He's not the lead play-by-play guy. That's Excalibur. But you know what I mean. Jim Ross, to me, at times he's one of the greatest commentators of all time, and a respected figure and a legend and everything else. But at times he hasn't always been entirely complimentary to the product. So there's a conversation to be had there. With regards to Mauro Ranallo, I personally dislike Mauro Ranallo's commentary. I'm in the 15% who just think he drags the show down rather than enhances it. Look, I recognise that I'm in the minority here and it's all subjective and so forth, but I find him more annoying than anything else. And I'll caveat that by saying he is, by all accounts, a lovely dude, a great professional. I think he's a model. He's a real role model figure for people who suffer from perhaps similar mental health issues to him. And I think he's a force for good and positive and everything else. But subjectively, I don't enjoy the guy's work, so I wouldn't want to see him on Dynamite, but maybe you would.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I'd like to see him on Dynamite personally. I'm a big fan of his. I completely agree that maybe they just need to just tone it down just a little bit, Mauro. I think he can really overdo it and almost take you out of stuff by bringing the focus to his crowbarred in lines rather than the action going on. But yeah, I'm also torn on taking Jim Ross off commentary for the exact reasons that you mentioned. I think it's completely fair to reassess his position in AEW. But over the weekend, I was with some mates of mine and hyping up AEW and showing them clips of Orange Cassidy, who they now fallen in love with, like everyone has. And you know, the sort of the vague discussion of it was, AEW Wrestling, it's this new promotion, blah, blah, blah. Not new, but, for lapsed fans it is. And they said, oh, is that the one with Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho and Jim Ross in? And it's like, maybe he's the in. Maybe he's the in for more sort of lapsed wrestling fans. So that's the dichotomy. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section below on that one. And we'll wrap up today with the and finally that everyone is talking about. We can't show it because we'll probably get done, taken down, and all the money taken out of the WhatCulture coffers that we're always Scrooge McDucking in. But I wanted to mention the sweet chin music in the basketball from the other night. I believe this was the Boston Celtics against the Toronto Raptors. Neither of them are my team. Go Bucks. Sorry that they're out of the playoffs. I think it was Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
Siakam. There we go. Shows how much I know. Who hit someone with the sweet chin music and even got a little nod from the man himself, HBK. Love this, Andy.
You love to see wrestling crossing over into real life stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. I've just got it playing on the computer next to me. I can't take my eyes off it. It's quite the way to stop a basket. Is that the right thing?
Sure. I'll roll with it.
Hoops from downtown. So I'd just like to launch WhatCulture Hoops, actually. Make sure you subscribe. No, don't. I'm joking. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Busy day today. NXT review, AEW Dynamite preview, myself and the Dadley boys. Plus, you can let us know your thoughts and Twitter questions on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray at
Andy H. Murray. The H stands for hoops.
Swish. You can follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Happy birthday again to Matt Rain. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon. Nothing but net.